Men, how did you feel when you met the woman you married? I'm 33 and date a lot. I'm having a hard time finding that person. I also don't really know how I'm supposed to feel when I find it. The night we met, I initially thought this girl is talking to me because we like the same band, and there is zero way she would be interested in me. However, as the night went on, it became obvious that this girl is talking to me because she has an interest in me as well. By the end of the night, I knew I found a very special girl who would make an awesome girlfriend. My heart was racing, my head was a blur, and it was just a warm and fuzzy feeling. The icing on the cake was when I got home to an alm from her that simply read, "Meeting you was the best part of tonight, when can I see you again?" I didn't feel much when I first met her. We had good personal chemistry right off the bat, but there was nothing to suggest we'd eventually get married. Our relationship was a slow burn, friends plus confidants that eventually became more. No love at first sight or anything like that. Attraction doesn't work like that for me. I need the personal connection or I'm not interested. My wife and I would both second that 100% at first. My wife was interested in my fraternity brother and I was more interested in my wife's roommate at the time. We ended up spending more and more time together. My cousin was playing one of his final football games from his final year of high school against my wife's hometown. She mentioned that she would be going home for the weekend and offered me to stay with her and her parents. Her niece and nephew adored me and her family kept telling her that I was the one. A few weeks later, we officially started dating. But we both knew it was going to be a lifetime thing shortly after that first trip. I specifically remember having a strong feeling of I really want this girl to like me feeling when I first met her, and I tried really hard to make her laugh. And I did. I don't know if she was being polite or really thought my jokes were hilarious, but either way, I just had this strong feeling that I really liked her after talking with her for a bit. And apparently whatever I did to get her to like me worked like a charm, ha. When we first met, marriage just seemed like an inevitability within a day, and I had a distinct feeling of being unable to cope if I ever had to know she's just put there being her and I'm existing not with her. Honestly, kind of a weird psychotic future serial killer way of thinking, but for the fact that we've been married for years now. For the record, I'm not someone who just kind of thought that way suspiciously often when meeting a woman for the first time. It was a one-time thing. I was chatting with a hot girl and she walked in the room. I couldn't take my eyes off her. I think the hot girl was still talking to me, but Elle just zoned out. Eventually, I think the hot girl got annoyed and left. I wasn't paying attention at all. The girl that I couldn't take my eyes off eventually noticed and called me over. We've been together almost 20 years now. I had a strong feeling/intuition that I would marry her within about 10 minutes of meeting her. I remember us looking at each other in sort of a shared "are you feeling this too" type thing. Marriage, dogs, kids, etc. I met my wife in the army. I was interested in her roommate and went out with her. She oddly suggested that I would like her roommate. 23 years of marriage later, she was spot on. The moral of the story is that you really don't know when it is going to happen and how you think it is going to happen. I was living alone for the first time ever at 22 and I got a cat, moved out at 17, roommates previously, first pet that was mine. I had a work mom, older lady who I smoked with and told everything to. Was super excited to tell her about my new cat the next time we had a smoke break. Finally it was time. I clocked into break mode and rushed out to the smoke pit. The cat was a super cool cat and I was excited to gush and brag about my damn cat. I get outside and some younger girl is talking to my work mom. This younger girl is talking loud and fast and just complaining about work. Work mom is listening intently and barely notices me come up. This girl keeps talking and talking and talking. Oops, break's over, we all had to go back in. I didn't get to talk about my damn cat. The one thing I had been looking forward to. Oh buddy, I was furious. I did not like that girl at all and was not happy to see her out smoking with us the next day. And the next. And the next. She was so annoying and selfish and not cool. Who cared about her problems? I just got a mother-hugging cat. So, yeah. That was the first time I met my wife. That cat passed away in our second apartment together, and now we have dogs. They're alright, but not as cool as that cat. I was 21. I had a fiancé that cheated/dumped me at 19ish. Dated a few girls/women for a few months each between her and anyway I hosted a party for Mafia or some random board games. So anyway I come downstairs from having some time with my current GF at the time and then I saw my wife. I thought she was incredibly funny and witty, she looked amazing, and I just had a draw to her. I knew I wanted to spend time with her and wasn't sure where it would go, but my draw towards her was more than my other girlfriends I'd had recently. So I broke up with my girlfriend that night and asked her out on a date the next day or two on Facebook of all places. I didn't think it was right to string her along when I found someone I liked more, which meant there were more out there that I'd like more too. It's been 14 years this January. I felt like I didn't have a chance with her and that she was out of my league. Backstory: I was in my apartment after work fixing me some supper. A friend of mine came over and asked if I would help her friend move out of her apartment, which she had broken up with her boyfriend. I really didn't want to go. Being the friend I am, I turned everything off and went to help. The first time I laid eyes on my wife, she was wearing a tight shirt and tight-ass Wrangler shorts. Her huge breast and nice round butt were hard to look at. She was 28 years old and hot as F word. What really got me was her long hair and huge heart. While trying to get the last few items, she asked if I would pick her up so she could look on top of an armoire. Damn, she smelled so sweet. While we were unloading the last load at storage, she caught me looking at her cute butt. When we finished, she hugged me and told me thanks for helping. Fast forward to the following Saturday night, I was called and asked to go out with her and some friends. I had already made friends with a dancing partner, so I had to decline. After my night was over, I went to my apartment and received a phone call from her. She wanted me to go hang out with her and her friends. She came and picked me up and we have been together ever since. She asked me several times to marry her, and as much as I tried to push her away, she stood headstrong and wasn't budging. Here we are in March, we will be celebrating 24 years together. I wouldn't change a thing. We've had good times and bad times, but we've kept our promise to God and our vows to each other. She is the love of my life and my best friend. I'm the introvert, and she is the extrovert. We complement each other. I'd lay my life down for that sweet woman. Anywho, that is our story. I met her at a coffee shop. It wasn't a date. We were there because I needed to talk. My wife recently died of cancer and she was my wife's friend. It was instant connection. Like the universe said, this is the one. She felt the same electricity. We talked for an hour and we could both feel drawn to each other. I wanted so much to reach over and touch her, hold her. I never felt that way before in 70 years. She was in a relationship at the time. We left, she left town to help her daughter. We texted and talked every day for 3 weeks until she came back. We married a year later. Love of my life. I believe she was sent to me, I really do. Nothing else makes sense. Not my story, but a guy I know met a girl and her sister when he was out one night. They ended up waiting for the same bus home, and as it was going to be ages, one of the sisters went to get food for them, and him and the other sister ended up having drunken hormone transaction at the bus stop. Fast forward several weeks/months, I don't remember the exact details, and he's on a similar night out and meets the other sister without her sibling. They really hit it off, end up seeing each other, get married and have kids. Family gatherings are probably interesting times. If you started dating at 18, then you would have dated enough people by around 26-27 years old to have an idea of what you like and who's out there. Think about the best person/best relationship you've had in that time. That's the benchmark. If you find someone or a relationship as good or better than that, then try and make a great relationship/life together. You won't find perfect. You will just end up alone. Hey, you. Yes, you watching this video. That's the end of the video. Share your story with the channel in the comments, subscribe if you want to, and give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Catch you in the next one. Till then, keep stroking that beard for me.